Hello and welcome. My name is Kathleen Lovito, and I'll be your host for today's webinar on the SBP-DIC offset, also known as the widow's tax. Joining us today as our presenter is Jenny Campbell, Team Leader of Member Benefits at AAFMAA. AAFMAA is the longest-standing not-for-profit association that empowers military families with affordable financial solutions. We accomplish this by being the premier provider of affordable life insurance, expert investment management, customized residential mortgages, and exclusive survivor assistance services, all for the military community, not for profit. As a reminder, this presentation is educational. It is for general information only and is not specific investment, legal, or tax advice for any of you individually. Do not rely on this presentation alone to guide your life insurance decisions. For individual advice, please contact us directly. Now I'm happy to turn it over to Jenny to begin the presentation.
Thank you. My name is Jenny Campbell. I'm the team leader of member benefits here at AAFMAA. Today, I am going to just provide some helpful updates and information on understanding the widow's tax repeal that started this February of 2021. It's an update to our webinar that was done last June of 2020 by Lynn Babin and Jody Newman, which you can find on the AAFMAA website. So a little bit of background about the widow's tax and the offset elimination that is occurring. This was signed into law in December of 2019 and contains provision that will phase out the Survivor Benefit Plan, or SBP, and Dependency and Indemnity Compensation, otherwise known as DIC, offset. So this phase out officially began in January 2021 with a complete elimination of the offset that will occur in January of 2023. Just to provide a brief overview of the SBP and DIC programs for those who are unfamiliar, what is SBP, the Survivor Benefit Plan Annuity? So SBP is a survivor annuity benefit that is elected by the retiring service member at the time of retirement from military service or a qualifying life event. What SBP means is that when the military retired pay stops upon the death of the service member, the SBP is meant as a survivor annuity to replace that retired pay for any surviving dependents, which is generally a spouse. The SBP annuity is 55% of the elected retired pay. By default, that's going to be the gross retired pay of the service member, but you can elect a lesser amount if you wish. That would happen at the time of retirement, this election. And it can be as low as $300. There is a cost to the SBP program. The retiree must pay 6.5% pre-tax dollars out of their military retired pay, and that is automatically withheld by DFAS every month for 30 years from the date of retirement. And this is the premium, so to speak, to pay for the SBP survivor annuity for when the service member passes away. So pre-tax premiums are how you pay for this SBP. The whole intent of the SBP program is to provide a surviving spouse or any eligible dependents. So those could be children who are still of dependent age under DOD, or children who are permanently disabled. These could also be eligible dependents for this SBP annuity. And it's meant to supplement that retired pay when the service member passes away. SBP, it's key to know, is taxable, just like retired pay is taxable. So what is DIC, Dependency and Indemnity Compensation, which is the other piece of this SBP-DIC offset that we'll explain in a little bit? DIC is different from SBP, and that is it is a non-taxable monthly compensation that is awarded by the Veterans Administration to a veteran's surviving spouse or eligible dependents when the death of the service member is deemed to be service connected. So it is not guaranteed in the same way that SBP annuity is guaranteed, because the SBP is a program that is elected by the retiree at retirement. Instead, DIC is awarded only when the death is deemed service-connected. The VA must adjudicate to determine that the death of the service member is service-connected, and proof is required on the death certificate that the conditions that caused the death are related to the service member's military service. Next slide. So how does the widow's tax play into that? And widow's tax is actually just a term that was coined by lobbyists in Congress in describing an offset that occurs for a surviving spouse when they are receiving both the SBP survivor annuity and that surviving spouse is also awarded the dependency indemnity compensation by the VA because the death was service connected. So the widow's tax only applies to those annuitants who are getting both SBP and DIC. What is this offset? What does it mean? So prior to this year, the offset meant that a surviving spouse could not receive both their full SBP and full DIC. Instead, the dollar amount of DIC was being subtracted from the SBP. Although DIC was still paid to the survivor in full, that SBP payment was getting reduced. It's key to note that DIC is an entitlement. It is non-taxable entitlement from the VA, and it must be applied for by the surviving spouse when the service member passes away. Another piece of this SBP and DIC offset is something called the Special Survivor Indemnity Allowance, SSIA. It is a small amount of money, currently $327 per month, that was awarded by Congress and paid only to annuitants, survivor annuitants, who are receiving both SBP and DIC. It is meant to partially restore that SBP amount that is being subtracted dollar for dollar by the DIC. It is subject also to COLA, cost of living adjustments every year. So it went up about $5 last year and is now $327 per month. SSIA is something that will not continue but will permanently stop when this offset elimination occurs in 2023. So currently, survivor annuitants will continue to receive their SSIA unchanged. However, it will be eliminated in 2023. So how is this offset elimination going to occur? It will be in phases. The first reduction is going to be by 1/3 on January 1st of 2021. However, it is important to note that this SBP offset reduction will not appear in the survivor annuitants bank accounts until February 1st of 2021, and did not appear, excuse me. And the reason for that is SBP annuities are paid in arrears. On January 1st of 2022, it will be reduced by 2/3. So survivor annuitants will see their SBP amounts go up again. And I'll explain this later in the presentation, what these numbers will look like. A full elimination will be on January 1st of 2023. And what this means is that the full SBP annuity amount will be paid starting then to the survivor annuitant. All right, so how is this going to affect your monthly income in 2021? So here is a chart that shows how SBP and the DIC offset worked prior to 2021 for annuitants. Here, the full SBP amount, so whatever was elected from the service member's retired pay, just as a hypothetical, is $3,300. This is, of course, going to vary depending on the annuitant because the SBP annuity amount depends on what the service member was getting for retirement and what they elected. So for simplicity's sake, we'll stick with the number $3,300 for the full SBP. In 2020, the DIC amount was $1,340 a month. The DIC offset, therefore, prior to this year was the full DIC amount. What this means is the SBP that a survivor annuitant was actually getting, in this case, would be $1,960, which is $3,300 minus that DIC amount, dollar for dollar, that full amount, $1,340. So what the annuitant was actually seeing in their bank account was $1,960. Now, a survivor annuitant would also get that DIC, though, that non-taxable from the VA in full, the $1,340, and the SSIA, that special survivor indemnity allowance of $323, which was the rate for SSIA in 2020. Their total monthly income, therefore, was their adjusted SBP, the $1,960, plus the DIC from the VA, $1,340, plus that little extra SSIA, bringing it to a total of $3,624 in this particular hypothetical. What is taxable of that? So the taxable monthly income was the SSIA plus the adjusted SBP. DIC, remember, is not taxable. So here you can see in 2021, how is that going to change starting on February 1st of 2021? What's going to change is, first you can see that the DIC has been increased. So that is the official rate now for DIC for 2021, $1,357. It has gone up a few dollars. Now, what is significant here and what's changed is that DIC offset amount. So what is the DIC offset amount? Now, instead of being $1,340, it is $904. And how did we get to that number? So that is 2/3 of $1,357. So you've seen that $1,357, that amount, dollar amount, has been reduced by 1/3, which brings it to $904. That $904 is now the number we use to offset that full SBP, to reduce that full SBP. So the adjusted SBP, which is what the annuitant is seeing in their bank account, is now $2,396. So you can see how from 2020, that SBP has gone up. They are getting more money in SBP because that offset has been reduced by 1/3. Now the annuitant still gets that DIC, which is $1,357 now for 2021. They still get their SSIA, which is $327, bringing their total monthly income of adjusted SBP plus DIC plus SSIA to $4,080. Now the taxable monthly income is the SSIA and the adjusted SBP, which is added together $2,723, because that SSIA and that SBP are what's taxable. The DIC is not. So here you can see the adjusted SBP is the $3,300 minus the $904. DIC for 2021, everyone gets the same rate, is $1,357. That comes from the VA. Total monthly income for this specific annuitant is that $2,396 plus $1,357 plus $327. And they're seeing in their bank account $4,080. And that's gone up from $3,624. Just keep in mind that this is a hypothetical. While we do have the DIC increase for 2021 and the SSIA increase for 2021, the full SBP we've kept the same just for hypothetical purposes, since everyone's SBP amount is different. So what is the phase out process? The phase out process is going to be starting on February 1st, 2021. All annuitants have seen a third reduction of that offset. On February 1st, 2022, it will be reduced by 2/3, and there will be a full and permanent elimination on February 1st, 2023. And we use the date of February 1st because that's when it appears in the bank account. That's when it's paid, because it's paid in arrears. If you are an annuitant of SBP and also receiving DIC, then you hopefully got a letter from DFAS, from Defense Finance and Accounting Service, that explains the offset elimination and provides some helpful contact information, as well as estimates. The letter is meant to be helpful to a surviving annuitant and how the changes starting in 2021 are going to affect their SBP payment, and also includes some pre-estimated amounts. DFAS does have a disclaimer in the letter that these estimated amounts, pre-estimated amounts, are pre-estimates, and that they may slightly differ from what the annuitant actually saw in their bank account on February 1st of 2021. Also note that DFAS plans to send annuitants another new pre-estimate near the end of this year to explain and provide pre-estimates for the second phase of the offset elimination that will begin in 2022. So now we come to the key of what is an annuitant should do now. First, you should log into your MyPay account and ensure that your contact information is current, especially your mailing address. If you haven't yet, go to www.dfas.mil and establish a DFAS MyPay account. Provide your email address, confirm that your information is current, and make any necessary corrections. This is really key if you are an annuitant. If you are an AAFMAA member, then remember that you should be uploading your essential documents to your digital vault on the Member Center. This is because AAFMAA Survivor Assistance Services helps our surviving spouses apply and get their SBP started with DFAS and send in that necessary paperwork, and also helps them apply for the DIC if they're eligible. So the documents you see listed here are key for Survivor Assistance Services at AAFMAA to use in applying for these benefits for your survivors. So make sure that they are in your digital vault on the Member Center.
All right, Jenny, that was a great recap. So let's take a look at some frequently asked questions we get on this topic. So the first one I have here is, where will I see these changes? And will what I get from the VA be affected?
That's a great question. So you will see these changes automatically in your bank account, and they're not going to affect what you're getting from the VA in terms of your dependency and indemnity compensation from the VA. So eligible surviving spouses will continue to get that full DIC amount. It's just the SBP that's going to be affected.
The next question I see here is, I am receiving both DIC and SBP, but I did not receive any letters from DFAS about the offset. What should I do?
Yeah, so we've had some of our members, surviving spouses, tell us that they did not get this letter from DFAS, that DFAS said they sent out in December. So one of the reasons could be that your contact information is not up to date with DFAS, or you need to make an update. That's why it's so important to log in or create that MyPay account that we talked about earlier in the presentation, and just review your contact information, your mailing address, and make sure that DFAS has that correctly.
All right, we have one more question here. I'm getting about $300 a month in addition to my SBP from DFAS. Is this related to the offset elimination?
Yeah, so this is what's called that SSIA, and that is the currently $327 for 2027. That's that little extra payment that only annuitants getting both DIC and SBP also get paid. And yes, so that's going to be completely eliminated starting in February of 2023, February 1st. But before then, it will continue to be paid, and it is taxable. So these are some helpful additional resources, and they also were provided on that letter by DFAS that was sent to annuitants. But these are helpful websites. You can see, keep up with the phased out elimination news here. You can see basic overviews of those different programs, SBP-DIC and SSIA, and there's other, and you can also see the MyPay address there as well. Thank you so much for attending today's presentation. If you have any specific questions about this offset elimination, if you're an annuitant, or if you are a retiree, a service member who believes that your spouse may experience this phase out, then please give us a call or email us at Member Benefits here. We're happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you so much, Jenny, and thank you all for joining us today for this presentation. We're going to go ahead and break here for now, but as Jenny said, please reach out to us if you have any further questions. We are happy to help you. Also, if you're interested in reviewing this presentation or any past presentations by AAFMAA, you can visit afma.com/webinars, where you can find recordings of all of our past presentations, as well as be able to register for upcoming presentations. Thank you so much, and we look forward to our next opportunity to assist you.